watched a documentary, and I've actually never seen the film that the documentary is based on. That should tell you how well regarded the documentary is in regards to the film. Okay. It's a movie called Lost Soul, and it is about the director Richard Stanley and his production of Island of Dr. Morrow with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. This is a notorious turd of a movie that gets like 20% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. However, this documentary that I watched gets 100% because it shows what a clusterfuck that production was and all the wild and crazy stuff that could possibly happen on a movie set.
Well, you got Brando in it for one thing, so that's a wild card and a half.
Richard Stanley was fired before Brando even got there. There was craziness way ahead of Brando. Stanley had a great script, apparently. Everyone loved it. But he was way in over his head and could not corral this kind of production. He chose a horrible location that was hard to get to. They had horrible weather. Sets were ruined. I mean, everything you could imagine going wrong went wrong. So they fired him and he left. It was his baby. I mean, he wrote it and everything. And they brought in John Frankenheimer to fix it because he's a fixer.
My God.
And Frankenheimer only came aboard because he was enamored with Marlon Brando. So Stanley goes off and everyone's like, what do we do? All of a sudden, people that had big parts have no lines anymore because everyone is chopping and changing the script, Val Kilmer namely. And then Brando gets there and his weirdness comes and it just goes off the rails again. I mean, you should watch this documentary. It is fascinating.
I have to now.
To give you another little tidbit, Richard Stanley was still on the island and he snuck back on and was an extra in his own film that he was fired from. Yeah. So I highly recommend this movie, even though I've never seen this version of Island of Dr. Morrow. And I'm a Brando fan and I've never seen this movie.
I think I did see it once just because of the cast alone and went, really? I vaguely remember it being horrible. Frankenheimer, I don't know why you would have brought him in.
Well, I mean, he had a good track record and he was known as a fixer for coming in and fixing problematic films. But
why did he do Prophecy?
Yes, he did. And we talked about that last season. I have to catch that one again. He also did that Rock Hudson movie, Seconds, which is a pretty good sci-fi movie for the 60s, where he changes his identity.
He did French Connection too. I know he did the sequel.
I mean, he's not a horrible director. He just came onto a problem project and his love of Brando just didn't help anything. You know, all of a sudden Brando started getting his way and you know what's going to happen then.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be bad.
All of a sudden it's him in that white face kabuki makeup behind me. Craziness.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I'll have to watch it then. That sounds like a good documentary.
Yeah, it's on Shudder. So you can check it out there.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.